Hi, welcome to another Grandpa Butler's art session where we do these watercolor crayon drawings on these 6x9 cold press papers. We're still into today an impressionistic kind of thing, so we're going to use a little bit of orange and this Prussian blue for the sky here. For the water reflections, we're going to use these blue greens, and for the city landscape, we'll start out with these. Maybe I'll grab a few more along the way. Let's start out with the sky then. Hey, I hope you're doing well. Let's just do some lines for fun here. And go and move around our objects here. So Grandpa will have some guidance in the way he's doing these things. So looked at Van Gogh pictures a lot yesterday. Hadn't looked at them for too long of a time. And so I think we're going to do some of those. Come along here and do some of these big kind of marks on these paths here. So what I've done is just marked out trails here along which I'm going to put these marks down in here. Van Gogh liked to do paint by splotching, which is a secret term that only painters who have registered with the American Secret Society of Painters know. And I can't divulge the definition there. But it may have leaked out into the larger population. I don't know. Splotch. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever heard that before in public discourse. Okay, so we're coming around here, and we want to kind of have the sky sort of a unified organic whole here. When we do our instead of these splotchy strokes, it's much easier to do. And now that I'm by here, let me put a little bit of orange around here. And now that I'm putting a little bit of orange around there. Let me get my watercolor thing and brighten these up before we get any of the sky in. So these retain their kind of freshness look. So dip the brush in there and then touch up my watercolor crayons here and activate these watercolors. Okay, let's come back to our splotchiness. Suppose what we ought to do is go around like this, I'm in a little area and I like that, doing a bunch in a little area like that. It's easier to create the fields. It's easier to feel as though you're creating a field here because your strokes are done as part of a migrating pattern of strokes, which migration you can kind of direct here. So that's kind of fun. And the buildings here, this is a New York City landscape. I have sort of lived in the city. Sloan House International YMCA probably doesn't exist anymore. Slept in my office in One Penn Plaza. I wonder if that exists anymore. Vibrant city, not a city I think that I want to live in with the family, but I could be wrong. Could be just the bestest thing, as us Harvard-educated people would say. The bestest darn thing, I think, when we want to be really articulate. Yeah, obviously, I've never been to Harvard. Okay, let's light up our night sky here. These videos are all done in real time, so you have a sense of what it takes in terms of time commitments to do them. Grandpa does it just to have fun, get some colors out, try some new things out. So every video, we're always trying something new out, besides the colors and color combinations. Now notice that Grandpa is stroking here. I'm not stroking too much. I want to leave these Van Gogh splotches in there. Oh, did that reveal too much about what a splotch is? I may be getting a meeting from my American artist parole officer saying you revealed too much about our secret code here. That's okay. Grandpa loves you more than he loves the American Secret Society of Artists. Okay, pull the sky in there. Let's see, where did all this start from? It started from the confession that Grandpa doesn't know what he's doing, except that he's trying to have fun with Grandma's encouragement. Grateful for Grandma, who has encouraged me and all of her family to explore their possibilities over the years, and has supported us in so many profound ways. I'm grateful for daughter-in-laws who've encouraged me to maybe post some videos on how I do some of my art. Thank you. I'm grateful for Soren for setting me up so I could do some of these things. And grateful for your willingness to spend a little time today watching us do this evening sky kind of thing here. Okay, now we're going to go to the cities. And on the cities here, I'm going to have a lot of this kind of blue here. I'm going to put here and there, kind of on top of the cities, and maybe even go over here. That's going to be dark, but maybe we can have that there. This is one of the many lovely bridges that go in and out of the city. Now I've got this other blue here, so the aim here is just to capture different cityscapes, different buildings here, different colors. And since I am aiming at an impressionistic style, I'm going to hope some of these colors don't dissolve too quickly, and that I can use them here as kind of part of the artwork here, leaving some of the pigment behind. Some of our buildings here will do, if it's Van Gogh, or Monet. Some of the times it has to have a red in it. So I threw my dice here before we started and decided that, yeah, it's going to be one of those times where we have some red in there. Ooh, I think we should have had this guy come down on top of there. Reach that up and fix that. Yeah, that would be better, right? Contrast the bridge here, that part of the bridge here. Okay, what colors haven't we used yet? I don't know if we've used this one. Is this the one we used before? Maybe it is. How about this one here? Those purples are so close together, I can't tell. Yeah, I think they're different. Okay. And what, maybe we'll use the dark version of that there. And you haven't had this one on this side too much. So I'll use that here, coming down here. Press it hard, dark pigment. So, okay, I think we've got our city in. And here, these are kind of shops by the waterfront here. Let's do our shops by the waterfront kind of brush here. Okay, there we go. So we'll put the city in and we'll work on the bridge here. Dipped my watercolor brush in here. This top of the buildings, I thought, if they were all kind of maybe starlight reflected in a light blue, that might be cool. But I've never done this before with these crayons, so I'm not sure. That is, I've never done this particular night scene with these crayons. Not sure how they'll turn out. The city is, even though it's late at night, the city has got lots of windows that are open and curtains partially drawn, and lots of light comes out. Lights up the city. Grandpa's stroking these buildings in the direction he did the crayons as a way of leaving some of the crayon pigment in place as part of the art here. We've been doing this particular form of art, wow, since it started in May 2021. These crayons here. Just fine. Since then, they're very convenient to take on trips, backpack trips, and I'm sure cruises. I didn't know about that. Look forward to having a cruise with my girlfriend and wife of 50 years now. She's still my girlfriend. That's even cooler. Okay, so there we go. We've got that in. Now I'm going to take this kind of crimson and I'll take this blue. So I'm going to pretend this is kind of seeing through here into the lights of the cities. And then take my crimson and don't know if I'll also use like a dark blue on the crimson, right? Because the crimson color, the dark blue would make them black. I think I will on the underside. So right now we'll go like this because Grandpa's not so much lazy, but he wants to have this video done before the day is over. These videos are all real time, not practiced or remastered, so they suffer from surprises and shocks and other things like that. Okay, let's kind of light all that up, see what we've got here. And get a watercolor brush again, dip it in, and come over here and come down under the bottom and top. And spine, kind of tilty on the side there. I think I was one of Van Gogh's trees in his late drawings. That's okay. Then we have these storefronts here. And okay, so finally let's do all my reflections are kind of pushed over to the side here somewhere. Okay. So let's do the bridge reflections. Okay, there's the bridge reflections here. You know what? You can't see the bridge spanner beams, so what we're going to do at the end here is now that I think about it, what we ought to do is get some white gouache paint and get that toned right up. Okay, so we have some of those. Now we have like city lights. I should use, I don't like my crayons that I have in hand for that. So I'm going to pick up a few more light colored ones over here, just on the spur of the moment here, because I think I want to be mostly blues here, and between buildings here we'll have a little bit of grays. And come over here, grays, that's the light blue. It's interesting that I would say gray. And maybe just a very, actually not a very light, I should do a very dark reflection here for these red buildings here. Okay, what do you think? You think we have enough? See, I'm thinking with all the lights in these buildings, these reflections ought to come off in slightly different hues, maybe even blue grays here, And I'm just going to grab one random over here and put that in here. Not thick pigment, but just to lighten it up here. Okay, well, there's a bunch of colors. Let's do the brush trick here. Let's get this darker blue. Out here. And over here. This represents the sky in Grandpa's mind. I don't know what how you'll think about it. So on this side-to-side in the river here, still leaving some pigment, but unlike the night sky, I don't care if there's not such much of a pigment showing up, and I'm trying to do these brushes kind of color by color so I don't get this kind of murky look here, right? You can see that Grandpa's coming along here and trying to separate the colors out here by not going too far across on the horizontal strokes and just coming sideways up and down here. Okay, so here's here's the bridge structure here. Okay, and the bridge, and this is bridge here, coming down into here. And I think maybe what Grandpa has to do is maybe a dark blue on the edge there. And then how about an indigo blue here? So what Grandpa was worried about there for a second was he couldn't really see where the shoreline was here. So I went over there. Not sure that fixed it up enough. Okay, well, wow. So what we need to do is put in a few city lights here. And then a few highlights. Cool. So I took off, you can see the tape. The other thing that I did, outlined the buildings went back over with my black pen, and then I got a little tiny brush here and dabbed a little bit of the white watercolors along here for the effect of the shoreline. So that was a lot of fun. I had fun. I hope you had fun too. Every time I finish one of these, I look and say, well, yeah, it was fun. But I could have done even better. I think making the night skies darker would have been a better touch. So, yeah, that's good. Hey, love you all. Take care. Be kind to one another. Bye-bye.